Hello, everyone. How are you? Today, I will be speaking about designing assignments for assessment and how to use rubrics and design rubrics for that specific purpose. Happy to be with you. I am Samar Ahmed, and I am the Vice Dean for Community Affairs at Delta University for Science and Technology, and this is my website. Happy to communicate with you at any time. What will we be doing in the coming 10 to 20 minutes? We will be learning, exploring, experiencing, and making specific decisions about how to use rubrics for our assignment. I'd like you to scan this code. In this code, there are 2 questions. I would love for you to go ahead and answer these questions and communicate with us. Let me know that you have seen this video and that you are using the content. This is one of our publications that I would like to draw your attention to. It's called Step-by-Step Guide to Creating a Competency-Based Assignments as an Alternative for Traditional Summative Assessment. And in it, there is a step-by-step guide that we will be demonstrating in the coming few minutes. So the first thing when you are designing an assignment, we would like you to position the assignment in the curriculum. And how exactly are you going to do that? It's very simple. We want you to identify the competency or the competencies that you want to assess, list the basic skills to be incorporated in the assignment, revise each skill and make sure that it belongs to that specific competency that you will assess or that you have decided to assess. Good? Now it's time to design. And while we're designing, what we want you to do is form a team first, review the literature that is related to the topic you want for the assignment, do a little bit of brainstorming, and of course, do not forget to design instructions for your assignment. In order to do this, we have to make a few decisions and ask a few questions. What are the decisions we need to make? These are the decisions. We want you to decide on the degree of integration, the format of the assignment, tools you will be using for the assignment, both to develop it and tools that the students will need in order to deliver the assignment. Is this assignment group or individual? What's the purpose of the assignment? And what is the type of assignment? And when we say type of assignment, we want to draw your attention to this pyramid where assignments are there are levels for the assignments. Assignments can start all the way from summarizing content all the way up to what we call interdisciplinary environmental assignments. All through this, we would like you to make sure that you understand at what level is your assignment and what's the type of your assignment. Now, what are the questions we want to ask? We want to ask, is the format relevant to the student's professional future or not? So if this assignment is for physicians, it needs to be within the medical context. Is the requirement comparable to the grades or the stake that is related to the assignment or not? Don't put a complicated assignment for small grades. It just doesn't work. Is there an output or a product or not? How can we make sure that the output is usable and sustainable? We don't want an output for the assignment that is thrown away or thrown on a shelf. How can we make sure that it's usable? And how can we make sure that the requirements are quantifiable? Is there a degree of individuality in the task to protect the outcome from being plagiarized or not? Because we don't want the output to be a replica from each student to the other. What are the elements of the product? Can it be broken down or not? These are the questions you need to ask. Now that we've asked the questions, we will go into the implementation phase. And while implementing your assignment, you have to ask yourself, what is the role of faculty? Faculty role lies in one of these things that you can see in this table. It's in guidance, resources, directions, giving office hours, revising and approving content, quality control, and ensuring the soundness of the content. But there is a very important question. How much contribution can faculty contribute to the assignment, especially if this assignment is used for assessment? And this is why we came up with this table, which shows me exactly where the faculty can offer support. They can offer support if the area they are supporting in lies outside the assessed skills or assessed competencies. So if this is a skill I want to assess, this means the faculty cannot help in this area. If this skill, faculty, I want to assess, faculty cannot help. If this skill is not in my assessment zone, then faculty can support and help in this area. Now, what's the role of students? Well, they have to ask questions, they have to generate ideas, they have to be creative, they have to set plans, and they have to self-evaluate how things are going along with their own learning and their own implementation. Now that we've done that, it's time to assess the outcome or the output of assignment. And what we want to do is either use performance rating, and performance rating is when we judge by what you do. We judge by what the student does. And based on that, we either give grades, promotion, or salary. And in our situation, we're going to give grades because these are students. This is called performance assessment. What are the types of performance that we know of? Well, we have process performance, physical skills, communication skills, using equipment. These are all called process performance. Process performance. Not just that, we also have what we call product performance. Like, for example, I'm asking the student to write an essay or research. And by the time they produce the essay or research, I just get the product and I perform the product. This is another type. So it's either process performance or product performance. In order to assess products and also process, we have to introduce what we call rubrics. And a rubric, by the way, when it's well written, it's more than just delivering what the teacher's expectation is. It actually helps the whole area of education. It tells students how to learn and what is expected of them. It's important because it gives a clear definition of the proficiency level that is required of the student from that specific task or that group of elements within the work. See how important rubrics are? So what are the types of rubrics? We have two types. We have what we call holistic scoring or rubric, a holistic scoring rubric or holistic rubric. What is that? It is a rubric where we assess holistically. We do not get into specific details, but you see we have a number of performance levels. One of them is 0. One of them is when the student knows nothing at all. And then we assess based on one performance criteria. It's one-dimensional. We give a description of how that criteria progresses along the work, and then we give it grades. It looks something like this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It looks like this. It looks like one criterion, and this criterion takes number of grades. We grade from 1 to 3 or from 1 to 7. If we get into more details, we go into what we call analytical rubrics, and analytical rubrics are more developmental. They tell students how to develop on that set of skills on each individual component and what this means for them. So if the student grades 1 for this specific component, then they should be able to do so and so. And this is what it looks like. It's more of a complicated set of rubrics. We have criteria here, and here we have grades. And under each of them, we have a description of what specifically the student should do in relation to this criterion in order to be graded 1 or in order to be graded 3, etc. This is called analytical rubric. It's a bit more complicated. There are websites out there where you can actually create your own rubric, and we would like you to take a look at those and try to use them. Now that you've done the assignment, it's time to evaluate your work, evaluate the whole process. And the evaluation of the process is very important because it tells me where I went wrong. Did I go wrong in the design phase? Did I go wrong in the implementation phase? And then get recommendations for improvement and introduce those into your future plan. What we want you to know is that you're never allowed to plan an assignment in a closed room. Never do that. It is a group work. Planning an assignment is a group work. These are the stages. This is what we want you to learn. And thank you so much for being with me today. waiting for your questions and for your contributions. Thank you.